Question one. Welcome back to my channel, guys. I'll be solving math for ACT 2026 question bank. So, question one says, let Px equal to 3x squared minus 15, and let Qx equal to 5x squared plus 4. Which of the following polynomials is Px plus Qx? And option A is minus 12x squared plus 9. Option B, minus 12x4 plus 9. Option C, 8x squared minus 11. And option D is 8x4 minus 11. So let Px equal 3x squared minus 15 and Qx is 5x squared plus 4. Which of the following polynomial is Px plus Qx? So what is Px? Px is 3x squared minus 15 plus Qx is 5x squared plus 4. Now let's expand this. So this is 3x squared minus 15 plus 5x squared plus 4. If you bring like times together, you have 3x squared plus 5x squared minus 15 plus 4. 3x squared plus 5x squared is 8x squared. Minus 15 plus 4 is minus 11. And our answer is 8x squared minus 11. So the answer is option C. Option C. Question 2 says, based on a scatter plot of data, a company uses the quadratic model. R is equal to minus 10p plus 550p to predict the total revenue R in dollars, right? When the price of the company's product is set at P dollars, so they're saying that P is equal to price, okay? And the question is, what is the revenue? What is the predicted revenue R if price is set to $10? And it gives us option F is equal to 4,500, Option G is 5300. Option H is 5400, and option J is 6500. So let's quickly solve this. We know that this is the equation we're looking for. R is equal to minus 10p plus 550p, equation 1. So they're saying that what is going to be the revenue if p is equal to 10, right? So all we have to do is put p in 10. So R is equal to minus 10. Instead of p, we'll write 10 here, plus 550p. So that R is equal to minus 10 times 10 is minus 100, plus 550 times 10 is 5500. So that our R now equals 5500 minus 100, and that equal 5400. So the option here is option H, 5400. Question 3. Question 3 says, which of the following inequalities is equivalent to x plus 8 greater than or equal to 4x minus 16. Option A, they said, is x less than or equal to minus 1/3/5. Option B, x is greater than or equal to minus 1. So the first one is less, this one is greater than, minus 1/3/5. Option C, x is less than or equal to 8. And option D, x is less than or equal to 21. So let's solve this question real quick. So the equation we're given is x plus 8 is greater than or equal to 4x minus 16. What we're trying to do here is to make sure that we only have x. So to do that, let's minus x from here so that this can become 0, and minus, do the same thing to the other side. So this becomes x minus plus 8 minus x greater than or equal to 4x minus 16 minus x, right? X plus x minus x is 0. So this becomes 8. So this cancels out, right? So 8 is greater than or equal to 4x minus x is 3x minus 16. So again, let's try and isolate x alone in this case. So let's add both sides. Let's add 16 to both sides. So if I add 16 here and add 16 here, this will remove this 16. So I have 16 plus 8 is greater than or equal to 3x minus 16 plus 16, right? So that this becomes 16 plus 8 is 24, greater than or equal to 3x minus 16 plus 16 is 0, so I have 0 here, okay? So that this one becomes 24 greater than or equal to 3x, right? Because 3x plus 0 is 3x. So divide both sides by 3. That will remove this 3 right here, and 3/24 is 8. So 8 is greater than or equal to 3 or equal to x, which is the same thing as x is less than or equal to 8, right? Because if 8 is greater than x, that means that x is less than 8. So the answer is x is less than or equal to 8, which is option C right here. x is less than equal to 8. All right, question 4. Question 4 says a robot moves at a constant speed. Robot moves at a constant speed along a straight line path, right? And the starting point, midpoint, and the stopping points are represented in the standard XY coordinate plane. So we have a starting point, I'm going to call it SP, midpoint, I'm going to call it MP, and the end point, or stopping point, we'll call it EP, endpoint, are represented in the standard XY plane. So we're using X and Y plane right here, coordinate plane. Given that the midpoint is represented by 2432, so midpoint, MP, is 2432. And the stopping point, which is the end point, is 2437. Which of the following coordinates represent the starting point? So we're looking for the SP, starting point, what we're looking for. And they gave us option F is 24, 37. Option G is 24, minus 32. Option H is 24, 5. And option J is 24, 27, right? So let's solve this question. I'm going to go to two different solutions. Let's say the robot is here, right here. We know there's a beginning point, is a starting point. Let's call that starting point. Let's just put it this way: robots start from here, and if you look at 24, 32. And 2437 means that this is X, right? This is Y. It means that the robot just went up. It did not leave where it's going. Assuming this is Y and this is X, right? We're saying that this robot just did not leave its position. Let's say the starting point is right here. We don't know where it's at, but we know that the robot was right here and went all the way right here. And let's call this point the middle point 32. And then the end point, the robot kept moving and it stopped right here. Let's call this 37, right? Between here and here is 5 points difference. Okay, and that is the middle point, right? Let me go up a little bit. That is the middle point. Right here is the middle point. This is the end point. So it means that this robot is not really moving from, it's not going this way. The robot is going up that way, probably flying up, I don't know. But it means that the starting point is going to be 5 points down. The starting point right here is going to be 5 points down. Okay? The robot is still in the same position, it's just coming down. And if you go down 5 points minus 5 points, 32 minus 5 is 27. So that the starting point is 24, because it's not leaving that position, bracket 32 minus 5, right? So the starting point SP is 24, 32 minus 5 is 27. 24, 27. That is option J. 24, 27. So that is starting point. That is one way you can visualize this. It's like somebody taking off from one place. It's like, say you have, let's give an example. You have a drone. You have a drone, right? The drone is on the grass. This is the grass right here. This is the drone right here. That is drone. The drone is right here. Okay? And the drone flew up from the ground. Flew from the ground and stopped right here. The drone is not here. We'll call this the middle point. And then the drone went up again and ended right here. We'll call it the end point. Now this drone started right here. Not on the ground, right? This is the ground. The drone is right here, just a little bit above the ground. But if you measure, let's say you have a wall right here. You have a wall. This is a wall. Okay? From here, this is the Y side of the wall. This is the X side of the ground. This is the grass right here. The drone is just over on top right here. If you measure this from here, it could give you about 24 feet, right? 24 feet. Okay? And then you measure from here to here. When you measured it, it was, let's say we don't know for right now. But let's say that when the drone went up all the way from here, and you measure from here, up here, and it was 32. You call that the middle point. And then you took the drone up again, the drone went all the way up this way, and you measure this, and this gives you 37 foot, right? Okay? You call this place your midpoint. From here to here is 5 difference, right? So that means that your drone probably started, if this is the midpoint, and from the midpoint to the end point is 5 feet up. It means that by the time you drop, by the time you come down to the start original point, if you drop the drone is probably starting here, minus 5. 32 minus 5 is going to be 27. So your drone right here is 27. That is the same thing you see. The drone went up. The drone was already up to begin with. Went to the middle point. Went to the end point. Okay. And then came back to the middle point. And then came back to the starting point by 5 points. So that is how you get an answer. That is the first way you can solve this. Another way you can solve this is by using the midpoint formula, right? If you use the midpoint formula, if you use the midpoint formula, you have midpoint is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. For the midpoint, we're given this midpoint right here. So for the x is 24. Equal to x1 is what we're looking for, which is the first one for the origin, plus x2 is 24. x2 is 24, yep, over 2. So that 2 times 24 is 48. It's equal to x1 plus 24. So that if you move these to that side, if you minus 24 from both sides, you have 24 minus 48 is equal to x1 plus 24 minus 24. So this cancel out. 24 minus 48, not bad. 48 minus 24, I mean. 48 minus 24 is 24. So we have 24 is equal to x1. So that's the first one. The second one for y, solving for y, you have midpoint is equal to y1 plus y2 over 2. M for this, in this case, is 32. So 32 is equal to y1, this 32 right here, midpoint, y1 is equal to 37 over 2. 37 right here. So that you have 64, if you cross multiply this, 64 is equal to y1 plus 37. So that minus 37 from both sides, you have 64 minus 37 is equal to y1 plus 37 minus 37. So that 64 minus 37 is 27. So you have 27 is equal to y1. 37 minus 37 plus 37 minus 37 is 0. 0. Therefore, 27 is equal to y1. So now you have your x1 for the origin. Your x1 is 24, and your y1 is 27. So now you have 24, 27 is your origin. That is how you solve that question. Question 5. Students voted for either option A or option B. For every vote option A received, option B received 4 votes. So we have option A and option B. And I say if option A is 1, option B is going to be 4 times 1. So if option A is X, option B is going to be 4 times X. That's what I'm saying. That's what they're saying. So that this is X, this is 4X. Given that there was a total of 20 votes, how many votes did option B receive in total? So we have total votes is 20. How many votes did option B receive in total, right? Option A is 4, option B is 5, option C is 10, and option D is 16. So let's do the math. We know that all the votes, option A votes and option B votes together is 20. I don't know how many votes they get, but let's call it X. Let's call the vote of option A is X. And option B vote, if it's X, is going to be 4X. So that's option A right here, option B. Together, everything is 20. All the total vote is 20, right? So let's solve for X. X here is X plus 4X is 5X. So this is 5X equal to 20. So that if we divide both sides by 5, X equal to 4. So option A is equal to 4. We know that option B is 4 times of option A, right? So therefore, option B is equal to 4 times, option A is 4 times, right? So we have 4. So that 4 times 4 is 16. So our answer for option B had 16 votes right here. So if option B has 16 votes, option A has 4 votes, combined is 20 altogether. Question 6 says a supplier is loading bricks onto a trailer that has a load limit of 950 pounds. So the the trailer can only carry 950 pounds max, okay? That's what that statement means. When they say it supplies loading bricks onto a trailer that has a load limit of 950 pounds, it means that that trailer can only carry 950 pounds max. Each brick is a solid rectangular prism with dimensions. So the brick has dimension of 3.5 inches by 2.75 inches by 8.5 inches. Okay? And let's say each brick has a density. The density of the brick is 0.06 pounds, right? That's the density. 0.06 pounds per cubic inch. Okay? What is the maximum number of bricks that can be loaded on the trailer without exceeding the load limit? They're looking for the maximum number of bricks you can load on these things. So we have the density and we have the volume, right? So we're looking for the amount in pounds. First of all, let's calculate the volume of this. Because we know this is in inch pound, let's find the volume. So the brick volume in cubic inches, right? In cubic inches, it's going to be 3.5 inch times 2.75 inch times 8.5 inches. And that will give you, if you do the calculation, 81.8. So we're going to limit it to 2 decimal places, 81.81 inch cube. So that is our brick volume. So now we can definitely find, and this is for one brick. This is for one brick. So now we can find the density, the mass of that one brick, right? So we know that one brick weigh 0.06. One brick density is 0.06 pounds. I'm going to use the unit for pounds right here, pounds per inch cube, right? So what that tells me is one brick is this, is that for every inch cube, 1 inch cube is 0.06 pounds. That's what that tells me. One brick is 0.06 pounds per inch cube in density. So that 1 inch cube is 0.06 pounds. When I have 81.81 inch cube, so 81.81 inch cube is going to be to what pounds? That'll give me X. I'm trying to find X now. So that X times 1, if you cross multiply, is equal to 81.81 times 0.06. This is going to be in inches. This is in inches right here, cube. This inches cube right here. This is in pounds right here. So divide both sides by inch cube, 1 inch cube, 1 inch cube. So that takes that out of the equation, so that your X is not equal to 81.81 times 0.06. And that should give us 4.91. So this is 4.91 pounds. 4.91 pounds. Okay? Which means that one brick with this dimension is 4.91 pounds. So now let's see how many bricks we can put on this trailer that will not exceed 950 pounds. So to do that, we want to see how many bricks we can put in there. So one brick weighs 4.91 pounds. How many bricks can we put in this trailer that will be equal to 950 pounds? So X number of bricks, if I put in there, should be 950 pounds equal to or less than equal to 950 pounds. That's what we're looking for, right? So now let's solve that equation real quick. And this is, I'm going to give you another way to solve this. So that X times cross multiply 4.91 pounds is equal to 1 brick times 950 pounds, right? So we'll divide both sides by 4.91 pounds divided by 4.91 pounds. These pounds cancel out these pounds, this cancel out this, and you have 4.91 divided by 950. 4.91 divided by 950 should give you about 193. So that gives 193 bricks. So maximum number of bricks we can put on this trailer is 193. Option A, they gave us 69. Option B, we're giving 193. Option C, 532. And option D, 677. So the answer is 193. That is one way you can solve this. Another way you can solve this equation and this is for those that have been in science class. To solve this, density is equal to mass over volume. That's density. So density is equal to mass over volume. We know the density, we know the volume, we don't know the mass. This equals mass is equal to density times volume, right? So mass is going to be in pounds, right? And density is going to be in pound inch cube, right? And then volume is going to be in inch cube, okay? That's just the unit, inch cube. So this is the formula for mass. So now that we know the density as 0.06 pound inch cube, right? Times, we know the volume is 81.81 inch cube. This cancel out. And 0.06 times 81 should give us 4.91 pounds. Right? So that's the mass. Now that you know the mass, all you got to do is divide that by this. So you have bricks, one brick weighed 4.91 pounds. How many bricks can we find? How many bricks can we find in 950 pounds? That's what we're looking for. So that'll be 950 over 4.91, and that is pounds right here, and that is pounds right here times bricks right here. And that'll give us 193 bricks. So that is another way you can solve this by using this formula real quick if you're in the science class. Question 7. A student model a set of paired data with the equation y is equal to 0.25x plus 80. A student's model and a scatter plot of the paired data are graphed in the given standard XY coordinate plane. Among the following possible changes to the student's equation, which one will most improve the fit to the paired data? They give us a graph. You have Y here, 320, 240, 160, 80, 0. And here we have a dot right here. We have another one just right here. We have one here, and we have one here. We have another one here, and we have one here. Then we have another one here, and we have one here. And then we have two more, one here, one here, one here, one here. And they give us a line that went this way. Mind my drawing a little bit. Don't mind my drawing a little bit. So I have that. And on the x-axis, I have 80, 160, 240, and I have 320 on the x-axis. The question is, which one is going to give a better fit? And they say option F, decreased slope, by 0.25, 25%. If you decrease the slope right here, which means more straight, that's the wrong answer. Option G, decrease the y-intercept by 40. If you decrease the y-intercept by 40, which means that this line is going to start, somewhere around here. Then it's going to be all miss. Now we have it here where at least two of them is being touched. The next one, option H, says increase the y-intercept by 40. If you do that, you're going to have 120, right? So now you're going to cut across from here. It's going to go across like this. And I think if you do that, you're actually going to have 2 points. There's a point right here. You have this point. And you have 2 points. And then you're going to have, if you do that, you're going to have this right here. It's actually going to be here. This is somewhere right here. So you're going to have 3 points being crossed along. So this one looks like a good answer. The last one says increase the y-intercept by 80, which means you're now at 160. If you increase by 80, then your graph is going to be like this. So only 1 point is going to be matching. So you're looking for the one that will have the most number of points matching, and that will be option H. So your answer to that is option H. Question 8 says the probability that event A will occur is 0.2, 20%. Probability of A is 0.20. If event A occurs, the probability that event B will occur is 0.3. So probability of B will occur is 0.30. what is the probability that event A will occur and event B will occur? So they are saying probability of A and B will occur. That's what they're asking for. Option A, 0.06. Option B, 0.09. Option C, 0.20. And option D, 0.30. Probability of A and B, P of A and B, is equal to probability of A times probability of B, right? So now let's solve this equation. So P, A, and B probability of A is 0.20 times probability of B 0.30. So that is, if you do this, is 20 over 100 times 30 over 100, right? That's 20%. So let's cancel this out, let's cancel this out. This gives us 2 times 3, 10 times 10 is 100, right? So 2 times 3 is 6 over 100. So the probability of A and B is 6 over 100, which is the same thing as 0.06. So the answer is 0.06, and that is option A. Question 9. A system of equations consisting of a quadratic equation and a linear equation is graphed in the standard XY coordinate plane as shown. One of the following lists only the points whose coordinate are solution to the system of equation. Which one? So what they did was they gave us a graph, and in this graph you have it going this way, you have it this way, and then you have it going this way. And here you have a point, we call it X, S, and here you have point R, and here you have point P, and then you have here point T. And it said it's T right here, and P somewhere around here. And it said this line goes across like so. And then here you have your R right here. So that is the graph we have. Don't worry about the numbers. And give an option F is S. Option G is R. Option H is P and T. And option J is Q and U. Q and U, I forgot about that. Q is somewhere here. And then U is somewhere here. The solution to this question is P and T. Why? Because P and T is the only point where this line cut across this parabolic right here. Anytime you are given a question like this, look for that line where this line meets this parabolic right here and cut across. That will be your solution right there. It cannot be this. This is just a graph, so it can't be this. It cannot be U because it's just a graph. It's not actually a line. The lines you plot is this line right here and this line right here. And where you cut across, well, this point and this point is where your answer is. So your answer is P and T.